Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone else who's watching this first ever completely original all-inclusive informational film created by yours truly, Adrian Meyer. Hopefully you will come to appreciate the messages contained in this short exposition. Be warned, however, the information in this announcement is aimed to persuade and nudge you out of a vacillating mindset. Your lifestyle will be questioned and, in some cases, altered. You have been warned.
Allow me to pose a scenario to you. A large space, a public place, and plenty of people around. What is the event? Who knows? Who cares? In this day and age, somebody there is on their cell phone. On their phones? What? That's right, on their cell phones. But don't they know there are plenty of people there that they could be talking to? They do, but cell phones are the best. I know this because most of us in the United States own a cell phone. Just look at the statistics.
They're surprising, aren't they? You can see that the majority of teens, that's you and me, ladies and gentlemen, are on the internet, on their phones, snapping, tweeting, Facebooking, several times a day, every single day.
I, just like you, have been led to believe that cell phones are the epitome of communication. But study after study has been showing that cell phones may not actually be as convenient as they make out to be. It makes sense. Those people that got studied probably use their phones too much. Those people that got studied probably don't really talk to other people. Those people that got studied probably aren't us. But what about us? What about my good fellow ladies and gentlemen, that I go to school with? What about those that I see at the mall? Lucky for you, my fellow charlatans, my good old Harper Middle buddies, I went out and asked.
Hey, how are you doing today, sir?
Good.
I'm doing well. What's your name?
Richard.
Richard. Okay, Richard. I'm going to ask you some questions about your cell phone, if that's okay.
Yes.
I'm doing a project on how cell phones are used for communication in society. So, how much time would you say you spend on your cell phone daily?
Daily? At least half the day.
Half the day? Okay, that's quite a bit. What are you doing?
What am I doing? Well, usually when I get home, I do like some work and for school and everything, and then I just like, I don't have anything else to do, so I just watch like YouTube, Netflix and stuff.
Okay. You use social media and such sites a lot, quite a bit. Would you say that they detract or add to your conversations face-to-face with people?
They detract a lot.
They detract a lot?
Yes.
Would you rather have a face-to-face conversation or
Totally.
You'd rather have face-to-face?
Yep.
But you find yourself more social media? Or how does that work for you?
Well, I mean, I don't like texting on phones or anything, but I kind of stay away from like deep conversations for like face-to-face.
Okay.
I just really just talk about like, hey, how's your day been? If it's like on text and everything.
Dr. Nelson, may I ask you a few questions about your cell phone use?
Absolutely.
My senior exit. Okay, so how much time do you spend on your cell phone daily?
Probably, let's see, I drive to and from work listening to a podcast off my cell phone, so that's about an hour. I would say maybe 3 hours a day.
3 hours a day?
That's about right. Mm-hmm.
You're an adult, so you probably use it more professionally than
Correct.
kids my age. So how would you use your cell phone usually?
Yeah, so I listen to podcasts. I use it for the GPS stuff. Email. A lot of my personal email goes to the cell phone. What else? Text messaging with family and friends, taking pictures, that kind of thing. I don't really, I'll use a couple apps to like order food or something like that.
So you feel your cell phone really contributes to your communication with people, especially when they're not present?
Correct.
Okay, that's very interesting. And would you say you prefer face-to-face conversations or conversations via text or stuff like that?
Definitely face-to-face. I
Definitely
prefer.
face-to-face? Okay,
Yeah.
why is that?
Because I can get a lot of information from someone by sitting with them through their body language, that I can't get via text or over the phone in talking with them.
Dr. Nelson has a different perspective than anyone else interviewed, namely because she's from a prior generation. Her cell phone use is more mature. In fact, she does not even mention social media during any point of her interview. She chooses to use her cellular device for more professional purposes. She does, however, make an interesting point that my good friend Richard would certainly agree with. Cell phones simply cannot substitute the body language aspect of a conversation. As mentioned by Dr. Nelson, facial expressions, gestures, and other such movements are invaluable to a rich communication experience.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name?
Emily Nunez.
Emily Nunez. Can I ask you some questions about your cell phone use?
Yes.
So, what are some alternatives? Say you didn't have a cell phone. Let's continue with that. What would you do instead?
I would be on the computer. I would draw and sing. Stuff I
Okay.
like to do.
So different things you like to be doing.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any thoughts on cell phones in society?
I think it's a big distraction sometimes, but I mean it could be helpful as well.
Okay, it can be helpful.
Yeah.
So you think the benefits, like just with communication and be able to talk to people,
Yeah.
far outweigh the possible negative effects.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Emily favors cell phones as a tool for her use. However, she does describe a belief that cell phones may inhibit creativity. She states that, her cell phone out of the picture, she would go to draw or sing, suggesting that cell phones can often be a distraction from other activities which may yield creative benefits. Now, what she did not elaborate on was the different thought processes that accompany the absence of a cell phone. I'm sure many of you have noticed more focus without one, which could lead to other more creatively attuned pursuits.
Hey, Ushab, how you doing today? So, is it okay if I ask you a few questions about your cell phone?
Yeah,
use?
sure.
Okay, all right. So my first question for you is, how much time do you spend on your cell phone use daily?
I would say I'd give it a rough 6 hours.
Rough 6 hours.
Yeah.
What are you doing in those 6 hours? Do you think?
Mostly it's like going through social media, Instagram, Snapchat, all of that, trying to get updated with like my friends' feed. You know?
Okay. 6 hours. That's a lot.
Yeah,
So,
it is.
do you spend more time on your cell phone than you do talking face to face?
I would say roughly, yeah.
Roughly, you spend more time.
Mhm.
All right. See, that's kind of what society is going to right now.
Yeah, I see that.
So, I've heard from several people that they may suffer anxiety or maybe a sort of withdrawal symptom if they are not to have their cell phone. How long do you think you could go, if I were just to take your cell phone right now, how long would you go without trying to reach for it? Or just
I mean,
thinking
just a
about it?
couple of days ago, I forgot my phone at home, and that was like a crucial anxiety period throughout the whole day. But I would say I can handle a couple hours without my phone, but like I always have this sense of there's something I need to know about or be updated, and I feel like that's where the anxiety kicks in. Is because I need to be updated with things.
Okay.
Like,
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time,
It was a
Ushab.
pleasure.
Hi, Arika. How are you doing today?
Good, how about you, Adrian?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm going to ask you a few questions about your cell phone use, if that's okay.
That's fine.
Okay, so how much time would you say you spend on your cell phone every day?
About 3 to 4 hours.
3 to 4 hours doing
Yeah.
what?
Texting, Snapchat.
Texting,
Yeah.
Snapchat? Okay. Would you say you do that more than you talk to people face to face?
No.
No, you definitely
No, I definitely
definitely
don't.
value those face to face
Yeah,
conversations.
definitely.
Okay.
Just like this right here, right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel that, like, since the beginning of cell phones, do you think they have evolved past their original intent?
Yes, I do believe that. Because originally cell phones were more for just getting in contact with someone, but now it's like you can check stats or you can play games. You know, there's a lot more use out of a cell phone now.
Okay, so you say there's more use. I've heard from several people that there are also some distractions type
yes.
things in cell phones. You say the uses outweigh the distractions?
No, I think the distractions outweigh the use.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. What are some things that are kind of negative about your cell phone that you found?
Like maybe if I'm out with some friends, someone pulls out their cell phone, you know, we're having a conversation and they're like answering their phone. I'm like, this is our time together, you know?
Okay.
So it can distract people from other people sometimes.
All right. So it's distracting from other people from those
Yeah.
conversations.
Mm-hmm.
It seems that these two are my bigger cell phone users. They mention cell phones as a distraction on several occasions. Breaks in communication aside, Ushab touches on something very unique: anxiety. He expresses a need, almost an addictive state, of staying in the loop and not being out of a conversation. Could this be healthy for society? Perhaps not. You can see, ladies and gentlemen, that people seem to have no limit to the ways they use their cell phones. It astounds and amazes me, and in all other ways I am flabbergasted by our excessive usage, even in public, social places. But do people actually use their cell phones in public? Lucky for you, I studied that too. Curious about the people in my community, I decided to people watch. I went to a local public place, the Carolina Place Mall, for some naturalistic data.
Based on this study conducted by yours truly at a mall near you, in which I watched people walking over a period of 3 minutes time, about 3 times. About 20% of people walked around in such public places using their phones, most of them naturally of a younger demographic. This doesn't seem like an overwhelming amount, but shown in a different light, in just 10 minutes I witnessed over 50 people walk by on their phones. That's a decent amount.
But let's be real for a moment. A cell phone is necessary. It helps me talk to somebody when no one is there with me. I don't want to be lonely. You're absolutely right. Cell phones are like no other tool, don't get me wrong, at all. Through this original one and only cell phone exclusive, I am not trying to get anyone to stop using their cell phones completely. I have mine right here, and I'm still using it. But I would caution against excessive use and encourage each and every one of you to become more aware of how you are using your cell phones. Ailments like neck strain, eye strain, thumb strain, and others, as well as withdrawal anxiety, are no laughing matters. But don't chuck it away and shirk all cell phones forever on these accounts. As Dr. John Grohl of the American Psychiatric Association describes, a gradual weaning and a conscious effort are basic steps anyone could take to protect themselves from becoming addicted to their cell phones. Thank you all for watching this one and only cell phone extravaganza by yours truly, Adrian Meyer. Hopefully you've all enjoyed it and have learned a little bit more about how and how often you're using your cell phones. And next time you hear a cell phone statistic, pay attention. It could just be talking about you. Thank you all for watching and have a good day.